This is Retirement News Online. College planning involves much more than just filling out forms, taking standardized tests, and asking for recommendation letters. The process requires self-reflection and consideration of both your budget and the pros and cons of different types of institutions. Joining me is someone who deals with this all the time. It's Ian Maxwell in La Jolla, California. Ian, as a college planner, talk about why it's important to work with a professional here.
Yeah, I mean, on so many different levels, the stakes are really high. First of all, it's your child, right? And you want them to be happy and healthy and successful. And it's a big stepping stone, a big milestone into independence, right? We hope. There's the phenomenon of boomerang children, right, coming back home. But the stakes are very high. So there's the intangible piece of the happiness and success of your child, and there's the cost of it all. When you look at some of these institutions costing $70,000 or more, putting one child through there can cost $200,000-300,000 per child, and if you have more than one child, that's a huge amount of money. It's over $500,000 to get two kids through undergraduate. We're not even talking graduate school yet. So that's what I call a big speed bump on the way to retirement. So in the old days, you could kind of view it in a vacuum, right? Because it wasn't that much. You could work and pay your way through, but that's nearly impossible now. So the parents have to chip in, and we have to, when people come to us, you can't just look at the college planning piece separate from retirement and all other areas of finance for that point. You really have to look at them together because of the cost. So if I'm true fiduciary and a true comprehensive planner, there's going to be a lot more involved than just saving in a 529. That's college savings. But the planning piece is really where you're going to get the most value out of working with a professional, because they're going to help you avoid mistakes that can be extremely costly in terms of money and emotional well-being. They're going to help you avoid pitfalls, so the admissions process is a little bit smoother, and just make sure that you're paying the right amount for school versus paying more than you should. And again, anything you can save. And remember, all these numbers are times 4, right? Assuming the child graduates in 4 years, could be 5, could be 6. So any money you can save on an annual basis can be put towards future students, or that's money that stays in your pocket to help for your retirement. So it's very, very important to work with somebody who really does know what they're doing and understands the complexities of it. The return on investment is huge. There's, like I said, the intangible piece and the raw dollars of it all. We have yet to see a family come through where the return on investment wasn't many times what they paid for our help. So it really does at least deserve a conversation to understand what that would involve.
Now talk about the importance of tax planning when you're doing college planning.
Yeah, so within the context of college planning, so depending on your situation, depending when you come to us, and we're looking at your financial picture and what we call your EFC, your expected family contribution. When we're filling out the financial forms, either a FAFSA or a profile form, depending on the schools you're looking at. Depending where your assets are positioned, people have assets we call assets in the open, and those include 529s, by the way. So those assets in the open can severely decrease what you might be eligible for in terms of financial aid or even merit when the college looks at you from a financial perspective. So we work with families as early as possible, no later than sophomore year ideally, because that's when the colleges are starting to put the pieces together when they look back at your financial picture. It's the 2 years of sophomore and junior year that they're going to look at. So that's when you start painting that financial picture. So looking at how your assets are positioned, sometimes that can, and sometimes back to the point of cash value life insurance, there are times when that could be an effective planning tool, not only for the family, for lots of other purposes into the future and building that tax-free bucket, but also in terms of your financial positioning when applying to schools and colleges. So again, that's a piece that we look at. It doesn't always end up as a solution depending on the family's finances, but it can be a huge help especially when there's an emergency and we have to do something quickly. So, and like I said, the benefits are not just for the college cost, but also for the overall finances of the family. It can be very helpful.
Finally, Ian, for parents watching this interview, what is the most important message you want them to know?
First of all, you have to understand the difference between college savings and college planning. A lot of times I'll talk to people, I say college planning, and they say, oh, we've got our 529, we're all set. And that is it's just not the case anymore, right? That's a very old school perspective. Again, an American money myth. 20, 30 years ago, you put away money in a 529, that's all the planning you had to do because the cost of college was drastically different. Now, with the cost and the complexity involved, the planning piece. So please understand the difference between college savings and college planning. The other thing I would stress to people is really building that college list. When people come to us and they have a lot of expectations of what we're going to talk about, and there's three ways we evaluate a school. It's a good economic fit, a good social fit, and a good educational fit for the student. That doesn't necessarily mean the marquee schools in the U.S. News and World Report top 10 ranking. Those are great and those have a place depending on what the student wants to do. But when we build that college list of schools that they should be looking at, that really drives everything else we do around the college planning process in terms of finances and in terms of positioning the child. So that's really the first place to start, is really build that really strong, comprehensive, informed list of schools where the student would be a good fit on those three levels. That takes care of a lot of the planning process. That's the foundation for it, really.
My guest has been Ian Maxwell in La Jolla, California. You are watching Retirement News Online.